So my name is Sophie Hallstedt, professor, as I said before, and leading the research track 2 in the profile. And I will mainly report from the profile plus, which has been the last 3 years. I will start to describe a little bit what we mean with sustainable product development area and who have been involved in the core team. I will describe some outcomes from our research, and then I will spend some time on learnings from a longitudinal study that we put together, me and Johanna. And then also some concrete deliverables from academic point of view, maybe. So starting with about the SPD track. So what is that about? Well, we have looked into what are the objectives for the model-driven development of the Fisher Support Profile project. And we have selected then research questions that are in line with that. And mainly our aim in our SPD track is actually to increase the capabilities in companies to develop value-created, sustainable life cycle solutions. And we have become a team of 7 researchers. It is the core team. And we have a main objective, and that is to support companies in integrating and implementing a strategic sustainability perspective, mainly in the early phases of the innovation process, but from a strategic, tactical, and operational level. And as you can see, we have selected a couple of topics and areas that we have presented like this model. So, for example, Carolina will present later today. She's focusing on how sustainability can be integrated in portfolio development in the really early stages. Jesko has been looking into how strategic sustainability perspective can be integrated in risk management. Tita, who will present also today, have looked into how social sustainability can be included together with ecological aspects in product development. We have Yin, who will present today, and she has focused on how sustainability communication in the value chain can support sustainable product development. Matilda, which also will present today, she is focusing on how sustainability can be integrated in the requirement management. And we have our new PhD student that also will look into how we can measure progression towards sustainability target. So these are our core team, and you will hear during the day more detailed presentations of the research work from our team. And as Marco presented, we started up with a couple of research questions that were in line with Profile Plus. And of course, we have divided them more into detailed sub-questions as well. But many of these have resulted in tools, methods, models, and approaches. For example, we started up when we had the model-driven development and decisions, the first part of the profile. We have already developed a couple of tools from that and together with parallel projects. So we have from that developed supporters on strategic level, tactical level, and on operational level already. So we had a support tool that we expanded. And from this, you can see that we have tools that can support companies in measuring their maturity level for how to implement sustainability in the innovation process, to how you identify what are the most important sustainability criteria to start looking into, and then a tool to assess material criticality from a sustainability and availability perspective. But we have, as I said, expanded this and in Profile Plus focused on evaluating these tools and answers to the research questions that we have. So on a strategic level, we have now, for example, a tool, a strategic scenario method for sustainability risk and portfolio management. On the tactical level, we have a profile model for management of sustainability integration in engineering design requirements. And on the operational level, we have something called Scouts, which is a support tool to assess and visualize sustainability value and product concepts. And today you will hear more about these things. So what is the characteristics with our support tools and methods? Well, all of them include more or less all dimensions of all the dimensions of sustainability, meaning ecological, social, and economic perspective. They include a life cycle perspective, and it uses a science-based approach for framework for strategic sustainable development. And this includes a backcasting from sustainability principle. It gives support in the really early stages of the innovation process. And in this stage, it is important that you try to make it, use these tools as then it actually, you decide about the impact later on for the whole life cycle of the solution. However, it's quite a challenge in the other stages because you may not have all the detailed data. So therefore, many of our tools are qualitative based. We target users at different organizational levels, so strategic, tactical, and operational level. But we have come up with other findings, not just tools and methods, that you will hear more about later today. For example, in one study, we identify what are the new capabilities companies need to have in order to make most out of these mega trends that Tobias also mentioned, the digitalization, sustainability, and self-realization trends. We also have, together with an international group, which Jean and I were working together with for a couple of years, over say 2 years, we came up with a research roadmap for sustainable design methods and tools for how we actually can move towards making these tools more implementable. And we also have some learnings from a longitudinal study which Johanna and I put together in one paper, and then we have looked into what are the key learnings from implementing research in general and sustainability research in particular in product development. And I will stay a few more minutes to just to report back on that. And that was a longitudinal study, which means basically that you look at the result in retrospect, and a longitudinal study means that it is more than 10 years time of continuous work. So I think that was interesting to see, and we also compared with other studies on this topic. And what we could see was that some key learnings from this is that a common understanding and openness is one key. And with that means that if you, as a researcher, go to a company, it's important that you work with a team and that the team is involved in surveys, questionnaires, and all the different activities, and that the researcher report back the results continuously. In this way, you increase the understanding of the research area, but also increase the competence in the company. And this is maybe particularly interesting in terms of sustainability, which maybe seems a little bit a vague area for many in working with product development. And openness here, we mean also that it's important that the company allow the researcher to be at the company, staying at the company and have access to different people, to different documents and processes, to understand better what are the different challenges, and from that also generate relevant research. Another key learning was customization and adaptability of tools and methods, because many of our tools in specifically our area are generic, but that may not make sense to the company. So it's very important to try to see how can these tools be customized, and to do that together with the industrial partners. So they actually also have a role in trying to see how can that tool fit into the toolbox and the processes at the company. At the same time, it's important that the research are doing this in collaboration. So the tool, the purpose and the core of the tool doesn't change, so to say. Another key learning is that it needs to be a receiver or a stakeholder in industry that actually have the mandates to work with the tool and try to make use of the tool in the company. And that means in-kind contribution is very relevant and important. If you just put in money to the researcher, you will not have that effect. And the fourth key learning was long-term and continuous collaboration, and that may be specifically for the area of sustainability, because to integrate and implement sustainability in the companies is a change in the whole organization. also strategic, tactical, and operational level. So therefore, it's important to have this continuous work with having also building up a trust in the company between the researcher and the different people in the company, so to say. And that actually become a much more a learning process for both to have a long-term continuous work. Parallel projects regarding sustainability seems also to be a key success factor, because we are working in increasing capabilities for the industrial partners, for them to actually support them in decision making to decide and try to integrate sustainability better. So if they have a project like a technology project or a project that aims towards providing a more sustainable solution to the customers, it goes hand in hand with these two projects. If you can run them in parallel, it's easier actually to make the management supporting these types of research projects as well. So this was a little bit of a jumping into some results that we have from working together during a very long period of time. And during a long period of time, it means also that we have resulted in some academic work from Research Track 2. During this Profile Plus period, we have resulted in 3 PhD dissertations and 3 licentiate. And we have a 4th PhD dissertation after Christmas sometime. And as well, we have developed a PhD course, which I run together with Glenn Johansson in Lund University, which also in collaboration with Product Development Academy, and is also supported by Production 2030. And that runs every second year. And many of our PhD students have also taken that course. Increase internationalization, collaboration, and spin-off projects. Just want to mention the Design Society, which is the world's network in this area. I'm a board member and a committee leader. I'm very much involved also in this special interest group, which is about sustainable design. And it's one of 16 special interest groups, and this is one of the most active interest groups. And it's a network for academia, but also for industry. So I would recommend the industry partners to also be involved and participate in these networks. From that, we have presented papers and done common work together, like this research roadmap. But apart from this Design Society, Matilda and I have in a parallel Erasmus project started a collaboration with Stevens University or Institute of Technology in US. We went there, I had a keynote presentation. We did publication together with one of the researchers. And now we have the monthly meetings with that research group. And so it's actually a continuous work, and we are looking forward to work more together in other projects. Then spin-off projects. We have had TKS project, Vinnova projects, and we have a parallel project now called the DSIP, Digital Sustainability Implementation Package, with 16 partners involved. That is more focusing on the implementation part of our support tools and how we can actually make those available for the companies. Awards and publications, Tobias already mentioned, we have been on the EBA list during this Profile Plus. And an outcome from the profile was that our groups had 3 articles that were among the top 1% most cited in the world within that category when they assessed the first part of the profile. We also have contributed to some awarded conference papers during the Profile Plus. Then I will look into the dissemination for the Profile Plus only here. We have 11 journals published, 12 conferences, 3 PhDs and 3 licentiates, and then we have 6 other papers that are in review in the pipeline to actually be submitted. So that will also be contributing to the Profile Plus. And 10 out of those 11 journals are cited and haven't looked into the conferences. And as you can see, we are also collaborating with other partners, industrial partners, We have international partners, national other academic partners in Sweden, and also other research tracks within the profile class. And finally, my next slide is just to show that our next natural research phase is for this sustainable development area is to develop a larger project, and we are aiming towards affinity project application, which is called SPIRIT, Sustainable Product Innovation for Rewarding Transformation.